and welcome back to today's show.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on, we them boys. Hold on, we them boys. Hold on, we making noise. Hold on, we them boys. We them boys.
Featuring two-time state champion head coach from South County High School, Mike Robinson, and the other one-time state champion coach, Kevin Harris from Centreville High School. Welcome, fellas, and how you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing all right.
Good.
Well, I think today's topic, man, is going to be a real good one. We got two good guys here that we both are familiar with. And this year with the 2020 season ending with COVID-19, right there at the end of the season, canceling the state championship game, these two men were about to have their teams head into battle in the state championship game before they were actually named co-state champions, which, Buck, we've talked about before. I wish they'd have named us co-state champions. We'd have took that with no problem. So very happy to have these young men on the show today. We're going to jump right into it and ask a couple questions about these young men and get an opportunity to talk to them about themselves. So it doesn't matter who goes first, but just wanted to start off today with you guys, Mike and Kevin. Thank you guys for being on the show. Can you guys give us a little insight on you? Not Centreville, not South County, but let's talk about you guys first before we get into all the other good stuff.
I'll let Kevin go first.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that, man.
Well, hey, Buck, they starting already.
Hey, I was going to say, usually if they pass to the first guy, that means that guy was the state champion because he usually talks first. Then the runner-up talks second. I wasn't sure.
That's all right.
Just throwing it out there to you. You know, they call the championship coach in first to talk to the press, and then they go to the other locker room and say, how does it feel? I'm just throwing it out there to you.
That's fine with me.
Kevin, give us a little insight, man. Where you grew up and where you played your ball and all that good stuff.
Okay, I grew up in Herndon, Virginia, up until about my sophomore year. Then I moved to Falls Church, finished my high school career at Falls Church High School, my last 2 years there. Went on from there and walked on to George Mason University, played for Coach Jim Larinaga for a season there. And it was there that I realized I needed to get into coaching, honestly. I learned a lot from him as a coach and his assistant coaches, as a whole, just about planning, practice planning, scouting, all that stuff. I mean, I kind of fell in love with it then. From there, I started coaching at Falls Church High School, went back to Falls Church, coached freshman and JV there. And then I was a varsity assistant at Jeb Stewart for 2 years, and then followed that up with coaching at Madison High School before Centreville.
So can I ask you a question? You said you lived in Centreville, then you were recruited to Falls Church with your uncle?
No, that's not true.
That's not true. I'm just throwing the question out.
It was a legit family move.
And then you continued to add to,
right.
Go with them.
I lived in Herndon, and then we moved to Falls Church.
You moved to Falls Church, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Kev, what year did you graduate from Falls Church?
2002. So before they won the championship, the year before.
We had just missed coaching against you then.
Yeah, you guys were. I watched the link still.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, good.
So,
all right.
You weren't recruited to Falls Church by your uncle.
I was not recruited. No, I was not.
Mike, a lot of people, know Kevin because he's from the area, but a lot of people don't know you. You kind of popped up on the scene. Give it, the fans out here a little insight on where you grew up and what you did with the game of basketball.
Well, I'm going to say it correctly before you mess it up.
You already know.
I'm from Peoria, Illinois.
I can never say it right. I know is that's where Richard Pryor was from.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That time was a basketball hotbed of a lot of players from Brandon Hughes went to Michigan, Sergeant McLean, Illinois. A.J. Guyton went to Indiana. Myself went to Purdue. Mark Vhsl went to Wisconsin. So that city right there, we just had a ton of basketball players. And, so that's where I'm from, where we just did nothing but play basketball.
I want to speak on real quick before you go into your college days, man. You have some remarkable numbers that in your high school days that are remarkable, and you don't talk about it as much. but I always get you to send me that clip you show. And I remember when you coached with us, and we were going to stop the game because one of our players was about to score their 1,000th point.
Damo Tham, my favorite.
Dominic Tham, and you couldn't understand why they were stopping the game. And I was like, Mike, no, man, it's a big milestone, man. He's about to score his 1,000th point. And you looked at me and said, I scored my 1,000th point like my freshman or sophomore year or something. You said, and I didn't believe you. And that night you got home and you sent me your 4-year stats in high school, which is pretty remarkable. I know we're going to post it up on the screen right now, but it's pretty remarkable. A lot of people don't understand that. Talk about some of your high school days before you even get into going to Purdue.
Wow, those were I always say those are the best days ever. From competing, playing with some of the best, playing against the Kobe Bryants, the Kevin Garnett's of the world, the Vince Carters, in high school traveling. That's when AAU was AAU, because only the elites of the elites played, on the weekends. And that was back in the day when you lose your first game, you had to play 10 games just to get back to the championship game. There was no big shot rules of 3 games and that's it. It was we're gonna be in the gym all day, and that right there, that mindset right there, helped take you over to the season. It was just I played with a bunch of teammates that didn't mind passing me the ball. Can't touch this. I sure didn't mind shooting it every time. So I was just, I had a great coach that, put me in a position to be very successful. So, I owe a lot to them, my former teammates that, boy, I'm pretty sure they look back about, man, I probably passed up a lot of shots, but it was fun. It was fun. And, then going to Purdue and actually learning how to play the game from offense to defense and doing everything else that matters. And I think that kind of helps me with coaching, because I tell everybody I couldn't play defense, but I can teach it. I can't play it, but I can teach it. So that's one of those things there, learning from Coach Katie at Purdue, that I still can't. We play pickup right now. I'm taking the worst I'm taking the worst offensive player out there. But other than that, it was a blast. Those times were a blast, and I think back on them sometimes, and wonder why my wrist still hurts to this day.
Hey, that's for another show. But
my bad.
So glad you said it. I didn't, brother. I'm glad you said it.
I saw you look, but
so, Mike, you brought up real quick that you played against the great Kobe Bryant, but you also, I got some film on you where you also played against the great Michael Jordan.
Absolutely. That was just something that I had the opportunity to work in Michael Jordan's camp up in Chicago, and at night he would play with us, and some of that stuff, I'm glad it was just some footage like that where all the kids were able to play.
Yeah.
So they all the kids were able to see, but the games that nobody saw were the games that were just the camp counselors. And then he would bring in Scotty, Dennis, and BJ and everybody and play pickup at night. And then when you're talking about a different level, it was like, man, like he would just call players out, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
But no, he was like that good, like that good.
Right.
And let me interject real quick, because you said something about AAU, and I'm asking you first, Kevin. With the AAU season, everything being canceled and everything, do you think it will be able to recover from next year?
Meaning AAU or high school basketball in general?
Remember, thinking about AAU.
Yeah, that definitely be able to
I
recover.
mean, with kids
Sure.
after a year and a half off of not playing basketball?
I mean, they're still playing. They're just not playing with the team. They're still getting working by themselves somewhere. Like I said, I think it might help a lot of kids to recover and let their bodies heal.
Mike?
Well, I don't know about them, but it's helped me out a lot because, going from coaching, high school basketball and, for the last 3 years going to the end, it takes a toll. That next week you're back in the AAU. So, them is helping me recover a lot and really get myself going again and thinking the game again and just having fun and missing the game. You go from high school, then you go from AAU, then you're like, man, I can't wait till this AAU season's over with. And then you're right back in the, Coach Bentley's fall league, right then and there. So it's like, it's tough to juggle. So it's been fun to just, wake up when you want to wake up and watch TV and go work out or whatever, but yet still check on your guys knowing that they're putting in work as well. Because I have a group of guys that lives in the gym still.
Okay. My second part of the question is I guess it also pertains to the AAU. Will college coaches then have to come back to the high school coaches? To deal with, or do you think they'll still try to figure out how to get in contact with that AAU coach that they coached that kid 2 years ago?
That would be great. Honestly, that would be great because I think that's what's wrong with high school basketball. Whereas you got some of these kids that's playing on these bigger teams that aren't as good as some of the kids that we have in our own gym, but yet they're going through the AAU coaches when some of our public schools may have kids just as talented, but just not playing on that big circuit team. And I think it would be good to go back to the old school where college coaches have to go sit in the gym and watch kids play at an open gym or play at a practice and start to understand and get back to just, instead of making a phone call to a certain circuit team to say, hey, what do you got for me? Making them go out and work again and say, hey, this kid has these tangibles right here that could really help us out, instead of relying on, some guys that didn't even get up and down the court to tell them, how good a kid is.
And I think, I'll let Kevin jump in there, but I think we all are in a great position. We all coach high school at the public school, and we also all do AAU. But Kevin has probably a different perspective because he has a son who is pretty damn good. And he's probably been able to see it from both sides, Kevin, as a coach and a parent. Can you speak a little bit about, and not necessarily putting your son out there, but speaking about how that's been going for your son and you guys and what's been going on with that?
So it's been a challenge because, I don't coach at AU for most of the reason that you guys speak of, that, chasing him around the country and my younger son's team as well. But for them, it's more or less staying on the same page. The coaches are checking in with them, making sure they're being active. His high school coach checking in with him, making sure he's doing his workouts. They're on Zoom calls. But a lot of what I hear from the AAU coaches from Team Takeover is, just because AAU is not being played, the EYBL was canceled, doesn't mean that, the kids' recruitment is going to suffer from that. There's not going to be early signing period, maybe. You might have to delay your visits or whatever it is, but the show's still going to move on, with or without the EYBL or AAU. And speaking from the standpoint that Mike was saying, I mean, we do have kids. I have, kids in my program who play for Pro Look, play for Nova Cavs, kids play for Takeover, my program. So I kind of get to see it all without having to coach AAU. And I deal with those coaches from each program. You guys know, some of my coached in your program in Pro Look. So I have to be communicating with you guys as well throughout this process.
Excellent. So let's dive into a little bit about, I think, what everybody would love to hear about this season. We know that Centreville and South County had great seasons. Kevin, what was your final record this year?
We finished up 22-6.
22-6, and Mike?
27-3.
27-3, and you guys were right on the collision course to meet for the state championship, which was real exciting. We all knew South County was supposed to be back there. But Kevin, do you guys feel like you guys came from out of nowhere, or this was something you and your staff saw 2 years ago?
You could say we saw it 2 years ago. Some things kind of fell into place. We got a couple transfers. The guys we had in place coming up through our program were working their tails off. Our coaching staff saw potential in them. that they may not have seen themselves at that point, probably when they were sophomores or juniors. And, you know, we got into like some of the things like the Wakefield Fall League.
They're playing basketball. We love that basketball.
The NC State team camp, which you guys have all been to.
Yeah,
you know, we
man.
never actually got a chance to play either one of you
Right.
guys. Yeah. You know, we always ride down there, see each other, hang out, but we never got a chance to play you guys.
Right.
I just think that, you know, for our kids, we kind of instilled in them since day one of this season, maybe even the end of last season, because we lost in the first round of regionals. Like, don't let this be the same feeling you have next year at the end of the season. You know, don't feel like you didn't fulfill your destiny. So we saw it coming, I guess, but we didn't want to put it out there like we expected to be in the state championship. We just prepared that way the whole season.
And Mike, you guys, of course, you're coming off your first state championship 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of those guys were still on that team, or at least experienced it with the school and things like that, and you just guys were able to keep it going. For you, how was it, you know, trying to, you know, keep it going, knowing the team that you had, and also knowing everybody knew you had a chance to be there again? What made you guys so successful this past season?
Well, to be honest, nobody saw the state championship coming 2 years ago. That kind of, you know, fell into place when Quentin Malora-Brown transferred in South County, and some of those, and some, not at all. And so, and some of those other guys that you're mentioning were on that team, and you know, the Noah Bullocks and Brandon Pose played a great role that year. And that year, that it was like a great team. But the process really started for us, myself, 4 years ago when I took the job at South County. All those guys were freshmen. I knew that they had a chance to be really good, you know, when they walked in together. It was a great freshman class. And so, you know, even without Quentin, I've circled this year right here to be a great year for them, because I knew like what made them good, what made us good was that they play so well together. They like each other. The mentality that they have is, you guys know as well, when you get a group that don't think of each other as, you know, teammates, but more so family, it's going to be hard to beat a team that, you know, they really like each other and don't care who scores the bucket as the ball as well. So, you know, that's what made us good, because any given night we could have 5 or 6 guys, you know, step up and have 20 outside of the 2 that we had that led us.
Okay.
Let me ask you guys, because both of you guys said you guys take your teams to a team camp. Do you think that's an intricate part of your program when you do things like that?
Absolutely. I think that begins the bond right there. That, you know, let's face it, them sneaking out at 1 o'clock in the morning and go get ice cream or pizza or whatever they say they're doing, and then getting them up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go get breakfast and go play a game, and you look at them dragging it, you know, but they did it together. No matter if they did something well or wrong, they did it together. So that bond begins there in team camp. And them joking at night, you going by the rooms and say, hey man, time to go to bed, it's 12 o'clock, but they're acting like it's 5 o'clock in the daytime because everybody's wired. And so, you know, that right there begins the process of them bonding and really, then you come back and you watch them play in the summer league after team camp, and you see the effect of, you know, of team camp and that togetherness that grew, you know, while they were there.
Kevin?
Yeah, I like to think of team camp as kind of like the bridge between the season you just completed and the next season, kind of establishing guys, you know, who's going to be a leader on this team, what guy do we need to score more. I mean, you see it in summer league a lot, but, you know, us Fairfax County coaches aren't allowed to coach our guys in summer league. So team camp is kind of the first time we get down there and we're able to coach our guys and see who fits where in the rotation. And honestly, seeing the young guys coming from JV or, you know, guys that may be moving in, how they fit with your team as well. And then not just on the floor, but off the court as well. Like Mike said, I mean, they're together for 3 or 4 days, 24 hours a day. They're playing 3 games a day, eating 3 meals together. They're sneaking out together. I mean, that's a team building event that you really can't duplicate anywhere else but team camp.
I agree with you. And not only does the players sneak out, but I think the coaches sneak out sometimes too. So we sure have a good time at team camp, man. And I think we've hit on it before, talking about coaches in Northern Virginia, man, how close friends we are. You know, we talk about this when the ball goes up, we all want to beat each other's ass. But at the end of the day, we would go celebrate and have a beer together for whatever it may be. And with the relationships that we have, man, that's why I'm happy to have you guys on the show. Just give me real quick some highlights from this past season that you guys had, whether it may be some good players or that one game or that situation that maybe turned your season around where you said this is going to be it for us. It could be a loss. I'm for sure Mike may be thinking about that loss he had when they went down to the 757 area this year. But speak on something about your season this year. Anybody?
Well,
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna start off in December, winning the George Long Christmas tournament. Going against one of my two mentors that never listened to me on the bench. So,
What did he say?
Exactly. That's how it was for 2 years. No, but honestly, the loss that helped us out the most this year in our was the Lake Braddock one in the district championship. I think that really refocused the guys right when we really needed to be focused. Again, it took their mindset to another level, just to let them know we don't play with their energy and the passion that we need, that we can lose no matter how talented that we were. That we can, any given night we can lose if we don't give everything we have. And after that, I watched them, and they wanted to run off the court and not watch Lake Braddock celebrate on our home court in the district championship game. Our coaches, we sat there and made them watch and take it in, because I knew it wasn't the end of the season. 4 days later, we're going to end up playing Lake Braddock in the regional championship. So it was something for them to learn. And them being seniors, I knew that they didn't want to go out that way again. And so the next time we played Braddock, it was a completely different story, especially with the energy and the concentration that whole night, and the fact that Cody Kellum ended up losing his father the night before.
Yep. And
that they came together and played for him, and he played his heart out, and they played his heart out for him as well, and that kind of brought them closer together.
Kevin?
For us, it was more or less getting everybody healthy. We had a lot of injuries this year. We had 2 starters out for 11 or 12 games in a row after winter break. But the loss, I said, one game that kind of was like the point where we had to get our stuff together was when we went to Oxon Hill and got our butts kicked. We went there, it was a rescheduled game. It was supposed to be at our place. It ended up being at Oxon Hill. So we go to Oxon Hill and we walk in, and we're down 2 starters already for injury. One of our starters gets ejected 3 minutes into the game. So we're out there playing we had 9 guys healthy at that point, I think, playing, and we get our butts kicked. But our kids played hard the entire game, the guys that were there and healthy. So we got to practice the next day, and our team leaders, and 2 of them were injured at the time, were like, yo, fellas, like, this can't happen again. Like, we can't go out there and act like that, play like that, and embarrass ourselves. We worked too hard for this. So we eventually got our guys back healthy, and I think it was the second time around the district, probably toward the end of the district season, right before playoffs. And we got our guys back, and they just gelled immediately after that. And then we didn't really, miss a beat after that until the playoffs.
Talk about the kid. I mean, I'm sorry, Buck, before I forget, the kid. And Kevin, I don't follow you guys as much until we would have had an opportunity to play each other. We couldn't seal the deal this year. But the big kid you got that I saw you guys play twice this year, and the big kid you got, number 23. What's his name?
Avery.
Talk a little bit about him, man, because I thought that kid was pretty damn good.
Is that the transfer?
Yes, he transferred from
he recruited. Okay, the recruitment.
Sticking with today's team, okay.
So Avery's a football player. He came to Centreville. He played football this season, put up some great numbers on the football field. When he came to basketball after they lost in the playoffs, it wasn't like he came in, he thought he was a big shot. He didn't have an ego. He kind of just tried to fit in where he fit in. Even the coach was kind of like, yo, this kid is good. We need him to do this. We need him to do that. He just kind of felt his way around. We scrimmaged WNL and Rockridge. I think that was like his first real action in basketball since, the EYBL last year in Vhsl. And he's not a kid that's going to put up 1,000 shots in his spare time. So the game kind of came to him slowly. but he impacted the game in so many ways for us. He, led our team in so many stat categories other than scoring. He averaged 7 shots a game, 6, 7 shots a game, averaged 14 points, 3, 4 blocks. He had a game where he had 7 steals, 8 assists. I mean, he just did it all for us and didn't expect anything in return. But to his credit, he coming from Paul VI, where he played a lot of minutes there, he was experiencing some things for the first time. Like we played at South Lakes early in the season, and they were chanting overrated at him. That's something he doesn't hear at Paul VI. He's not one of their, showcase guys. So that was new for him to kind of experience being a big fish in a little pond.
Good guys. You definitely have some good players, Kevin, and I feel bad that I don't know them all. But I know you have some really good players, and I did watch your team really bond together at the end.
For sure.
Mike, for you, we know all your guys. Those guys have been like our guys, because
Absolutely.
of the bond that we have, and then also with Team Pro Look and the loyalty that those guys have, stayed with you doing that. But I think one of your guys really emerged. We've been knowing him forever, but you know who my guy is. Andre Spates is my man. You already know that. Buck, Buck loves Trent. We all know that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Will stepped up for you guys this year, man. It was really good to see Will take on that role. So talk about a couple of your guys real quick.
Boy, he came a long way, man. You talking about from his freshman and sophomore and some of his juniors that, you just really wanted to, just strangle him.
What is your problem?
Excuse me, boss, but the boy can't talk. Something wrong with his head. Just can't get right, boss.
Man, because you've seen all the talent that he had. But then coming into this year, man, like the light bulb went off and the maturity went up. You didn't have to worry about him doing things right all the time. You would say up and back in 10, he'd be the last one every time. 6 and 30, the last one. And now you watch him when he becomes a senior, you go 6 and 30, and he's one of the first 2 that's running 6 and 30. And that's when the coaches start to look at each other like, is he okay? What's wrong with him? But then it was consistent. His practice habits became consistent. You guys know we play 5 men or whatever. And, I'm out there cheating. I cheat, try to mess the score up. And then he's just getting upset, like I'm not coming off the floor. Kind of way Damo used to do. Like, I'm not coming off the floor. We're going to win this one because the loser got 17s.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm not losing. And then you start seeing him take over and the team really become his. It was like, everybody had to sit back and watch because he's so unselfish. Like, he can score it, but he can rebound. But what made him so good was his ability to pass the ball and make the extra pass to a Cody in the corner. And by him doing that, showed confidence that, hey, Cody would catch it, ready to shoot and make it. And then he started giving everybody confidence. Everybody fed off him. It was great. It was great to watch him mature this year.
Will Wilson was the player of the year in the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
And I believe, Kevin, you were the coach of the year?
No, Mike was coach of the year.
Mike was coach of the year.
Yeah.
In the state.
Right. VHSL,
Okay.
yeah.
Congratulations. I didn't know. I thought I read that Kevin was coach of the year. Maybe it was the region you were coach of the year, Kevin?
No, I wasn't district or region or state. There was some kind of coaches.
Conspiracy, my man.
This guy, man, no.
Congratulations, Mike. I thought I read something that was coach of the year. Congratulations, Mike.
I would say thank you if it was coming from anybody, but it's coming from you. Right. I really don't care.
If it was genuine.
Let me go back real quick. Buck keeps the show fun. I'm trying to get serious. Both of you guys, man, you guys had an opportunity to either play in the state championship or get to the state championship game, unfortunately for Kevin. But Mike, you guys had a kid come to you, transfer to you back to his home school, which was South County in Quinton. And
yes.
It paid off dividends for you guys and won a state championship. Kevin, you were in a situation where you had a kid who was at Paul VI who came back to his home school, I believe, I'm not for sure, his home school, and it was going to pan out, looked like it was going to pan out. How do you guys feel, or what do you say to kids who go to private schools and don't have much of a role? But again, I got to go back because if I'm not mistaken, Quentin was starting at O'Connell and playing at O'Connell. Your kid, Kevin, was playing a lot so you guys had 2 guys that were playing a lot, but then came back home. What could you say to kids that are sitting ninth and 10th man at a private school that could be back at your school. Would you guys like to say anything to those guys?
I'm not going to say anything because they'll take it as recruiting. So
it's not recruiting. It's those kids that they're homeschooled. They're coming back home and doing something.
Right.
What do you guys think?
I've been told that's recruiting by a couple of people that kids go to another school, but I'm not supposed to talk to them because they're in my district. So if I say something to them, that's recruiting.
Well, Kevin, how about on your end?
On my end, we actually had 2 transfers this year on our team. Mekhi Washington came from Arkansas.
Yes.
To join our team. He was a big part of our team as well, a big part of our success.
Yes, the 6'9" point guard.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I would tell people, and just like my son was in the process of selecting a high school. It's a family decision, what you think is best for your child. And, if it comes out that the next year it's not the same situation you thought it was going to be going in the 9th grade, then you got to reevaluate. It's not something that you do committing for 4 years when you select a high school. You got to find the best fit for you and your family.
Absolutely.
Great answer. Mike, you leave it at that, Mike. You don't want to say anything.
Well, there's nothing to say. Quentin came back to South County because his friends were there. Kind of when you live right down the street from all your friends, but every morning you got to wake up and drive 30 miles to Arlington to go to school. Then another 30, 40 minutes back at home at night when you can just go to school with your friends and have success. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
And I think you guys were having success. South County was winning, and Q wanted to be a part of that. And I think
actually, my first year there, we were not winning. I mean, we've showed that we have the potential in the future to get better. We weren't winning. We were fortunate enough to go to the region tournament my first year. Thanks, Dermia. But no, actually Quentin came to me after we lost by like 34 to West Potomac in the district playoff game in the second round, and wanted to come and talk to us after the game. And it was like, Seth Dunn, I never forget, came into the room, was like, yo, coach, somebody want to come and talk to you. I'm like, yo, Seth, I'm not in the mood. We just lost by 40. And, I'm not really in the mood to talk to anybody. Seth was like, nah, you want to talk to this kid here. And I was like, all right, Seth, bring him in. Because we were in the locker room just for like a half an hour. Quentin waited outside for us. Nobody was there. And so he comes in, and my head is down. I said the feet on him. My head goes up. I'm like, yo. So, it was just one of those situations where it was the right time for him to come back to South County. And, by doing that, I just had to make sure I did everything in my power to make him a better player and give him more responsibilities that he didn't have at O'Connell.
I play, Coach stays. He goes, I go.
And he signed where?
Well, he went to Rice, but then he transferred. He's at Vanderbilt right now.
Right. Yeah.
Well, how many lunch dates did you have to give him to Chick-fil-A to get him to South County?
It was actually Glory Days. That's
one of our sponsors.
One of our sponsors.
We need money. Talking about money. We need some money. We need the moolah, y'all.
Actually, Glory Days.
Oh, man.
Actually, it was just a great match. His parents were great. They were excited about the move. One thing that you had to be with Quentin and his family is just be genuine, be who you are. And, I didn't have to do anything else to sell Quentin to come to South County, but I'm going to work every day for him and for the team that they get better. It was nothing that I had to say. It was just a great match.
I have one question that I thought I heard about or read about or something, that the NCAA is maybe talking about getting rid of the SAT scores. Do you guys feel that it'll be a pour of recruits coming out, or do you think anybody, what do you think about them getting rid of the SAT as far as kids having an opportunity without that score to get into college and play basketball?
I wish they would have did it back when I was in high school. My whole team would have went D1. And no, I think it's a good thing. I mean, all kids aren't great at testing. I think what they do in the classroom on a day-to-day basis should be enough to allow them a chance to go play at a high level in college. It's just, I work in the system, so you sit and see that all kids don't test well when it comes to the SAT or the ACT.
I'm going to echo what Mike said. I think it's great. As long as they qualify academically and they're doing what they need to do in the classroom. I mean, what's one test to hold a kid back from playing in college?
I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
So I just got a text. Usually Buck usually gets the text during our show, but I just got one, and they said, "Can you ask Mike and Kevin what?" Hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. From their teams this year, what would give them the advantage of winning the state championship over the other? Oh, and it says anonymous.
Well, I'm glad you put your glasses on. Today is like your 53rd birthday.
I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it is my birthday. Thank you very much, Mike. And answer the question.
Well, of course, I'm going to say I think the experience that our guys have been there before and the fact that they've been playing together for 4 years would give us a great chance. I watched this group, whether we were down 5 or up 6, keep playing together. One thing they always did, we didn't have hero ball because those guys played together and they played the right way. So anything, the one advantage I think that we had in every game was the togetherness of the group. It always, kind of got us over the hump. And they played a great attention to detail when it came to that. So that's one advantage I think we had.
Kev?
I think our team went through a lot during the regular season, and they came to a point where it was more of a refuse to lose attitude. We kind of grew off of that. We played against Madison. We lost to Madison twice during conference play. We played them in the district championship. We beat them there. And then we had to play them again in the regional semifinals like the next week. And we beat them there again. And then we had to open up the regional tournament. We played tough teams in the regional tournament. And I think that we ran into some adversity against, Washington Liberty. It was a rough game. Then after that, we kind of grew more. We played Lake Braddock. We grew more after that game. Our guys kind of took that I have to do it all off their chest and trust their teammates more in that game. Of course, Makai scored 37 points, but the biggest play of the game was he shot on the middle of the floor and kicks it up for a wide open three. Ended up being the game-winning basket. So I just think our kids grew and matured a lot throughout the season. And as Mike said, they had 4 years to do that. We only had a year to get it done. And it was kind of a fast track for us. And trial by fire and being more competitive in practice.
I would have loved to have seen this game. It would have been a really good game because I've watched South County throughout the year. And Kevin, I got an opportunity to see you guys down the stretch, man, and just watch the poise of your guys and watch guys step up. I was really looking forward to this game, man. It's just unfortunate that COVID-19 had kicked in. But at the same time, how do you guys as coaches feel being named co-state champion?
Like I said, I've said this numerous times. I don't have a problem with it at all. Kev is somebody I've known for a long time. My son played AAU for him. So we've had that relationship. So it wasn't like I want to stick it to Kevin and win one. It was something, it happened. It was something that wasn't in my control. You hear my kids in the background. I'm about to beat them up.
You're going to jail.
But it was something that wasn't, in either our control. It was unfortunate, but I kind of knew. I knew it was over. I was sitting there watching St. John's and Creighton on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then they didn't come out at halftime. I said, "Yep, this is over with." And so that kind of helped me get over it easier, because I knew it was over 2 days before instead of that last minute. Right. So, but like I couldn't pick a better person to be co-champions with.
You mean, you mean to when you saw the college teams not come out for halftime?
I knew it was
going to be up with the state game.
Yeah, I knew it was over because
Okay.
during that time, during the day, they had suspended it. They went from the ACC having no crowds, parents and stuff, and all of a sudden, then the Big East, they just canceled the game at halftime. I was like, yeah, this is it.
Kevin,
This is it right here.
did you get that sense as well too?
You can see it from when the NBA canceled the season, like Mike said, to the ACC tournament. And actually, the person I found out from was Mike. He called me while I was at work. I was like, they canceled the game. And at the time, I was, man, he's lying. Like, man, shut up, Mike. We still gonna have practice today.
Right.
Mike is. But I was just, then I sat back and I was like, I saw my text messages from my athletic director and my assistant coaches who were like, Coach, no, it's real. Like, we're not playing. And that day, if you remember, Mike, it went from, and all that one day was to family and friends only.
Absolutely.
No fans. And then it was like, okay, no game at all. So it was kind of like, oh, wow.
And it's so funny because when they canceled the NBA season, I called you. I said, Kevin, it ain't looking good. Right. It was that night. I said, it's not looking good, Kev. But then I went ahead. I was hoping that you would put down your scouting report and went to sleep, and I stayed up and scouted for no reason, I guess.
I'm right in the conversation. Let me get back to watching this film. So it was crazy.
Hey, Kevin, I just muted Mike and blocked him off. Who would really want to care?
Honestly, like Coach Bentley said, man, it would have been a great game to be a part of, and I think it's the two best teams in Virginia at the end of the line.
Hey, Bentley, I just blocked Kevin. Hey, Mike, who would really want, Mike?
Who would have won?
Yeah.
Don't worry, Kevin's blocked. Kevin's blocked. He can't hear that.
I can't hear you, Mike.
He can't hear you.
Emmerdale.
Oh man, you got
it. Hey.
Now I got just a funny situation. Okay, you two guys are the captains of your teams. Okay, what I want you to think about is the whole Northern Virginia coaches. Okay, I need you guys to go down one by one and tell me who your overall coach would be as far as a coach on your team in Northern Virginia. Who would be your number one pick? At the point, let me start with the point guard. If you had to pick a high school coach as a point guard to be on part of your team, who would you pick?
Head coaches only?
Only going to head coaches only.
Sherman Rivers.
Sherman Rivers, but Patriot.
Yep.
Mike?
Nah, I'm not from here, so I don't know.
You know all the coaches in Northern Virginia.
Huh?
You know all the coaches in Northern Virginia.
But I don't think none of them can play.
Oh, that's cold.
You heard it here first.
Right.
Mike Robinson has just on the Northern Virginia coaches right here. Woo! So listen, hey, Buck, that's great because I was going to segue into my last question for these guys. And it was going to be, Kevin and Mike, do you feel after this season, Mike, you can answer this question already. Do you feel that you will have a target on your back now after being named co-state champions?
I've had a target on my back for 3 years, so it won't change. It won't change. Hopefully we'll have a season next year, and I feel that the group that we have coming back next year is pretty good as well. So, I mean, hopefully we can, this group has to learn and go through some of the same experience that, the previous group has. But I think we have a chance to be pretty good as well next year. I'm still returning Andre Spate, Trenton, Jaheim, and some of those guys still come back, and they've been there before. So by us not training and playing right now, I'm going to have to lead. They're going to have to lead on their experience over the last 3 years that they played together, and most of them played together at AAU, so that should help as well.
Did you coach that team, Mike?
Somebody on Pro Look did. I don't know who did. Somebody on Pro Look.
Yeah.
I think it was Diedrich.
So Kevin, what you got? You got things coming back next year for you guys as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that not as much as a target, but showing people that we aren't just a football school. I mean, then that was something that our three main seniors that have been in our school for 4 years, John Hunter, Connor Shanton, and Lance Douglas, they kind of came in with that, we're not just a football school. We're going to show people that we can be respected on the basketball court as well. And that's a lot of experience to graduating, So guys like Chris Kazemka, who are getting back off injury, he's a great player. But he learned to lead a lot more this year by sitting out and having to talk with his teammates on the bench. He coached the black team in practice sometimes to kind of help them through, being a leader and help them through the mistakes they were making because he knows how to play the game. And we bring Avery back. I mean, it's just the guys that we have now, they have that confidence. They know they can compete on the highest level. I think that's a lot what Centreville was lacking before.
Good. Well,
Let me ask you guys one question since nobody wanted to answer my question about the damn coaches on your team and everything. What would you
I
guys?
answered it.
I know you did, Kev. My bad, Kev. It's
Right,
that,
you want me to
hey,
answer?
another dude. I wish I could point down. Yeah, there you go.
You want me to answer it?
Go ahead.
If I had to pick one point guard, because I like his passion on the sideline, it would have to be Courtney Colfer at Woodbridge.
Courtney.
It has to be Courtney
Okay.
because he has the energy on the sideline that you will want from your point guard throughout the whole game.
Okay, now you guys need some scores. Who are you going to pick?
I'm picking myself.
You already on the team.
Come on, man, you're the coach.
You're the coach.
Oh, you're the coach.
That's tough. Scores?
Cool. I just need one guy who can score, who can flat out get it done.
Can I pick assistants too?
No, only head coaches.
Right.
I know Bentley can't score. He only got one hand.
There you go.
He got a 15-foot game. 15-footer, man. That's pretty good.
DJ got anger management problems. So that's like Rasheed, so I can't go him.
Kev, who you got,
You
Kev?
got somebody. Who you got, Kev?
I'm still thinking honest. I'm trying to run through every district in our area. It's tough though.
I'm at the I don't know, there's a lot of he says, he said. I might have to go with Terry. Put Terry on the block and give him the ball.
I'll tell you, yeah.
At the 2?
All right, the 2.
You said need a score.
Said score.
Oh, man, Terry couldn't score. Man, Terry could never score, my man. Man, I know you just said Terry.
I don't know nobody around here.
I'll go with Mike Desmond.
Mike Desmond. Okay, Mike Desmond was very tough. I coached against Mike Desmond. Yeah. Mike Desmond was very tough. Could score.
Yeah,
wow.
I'll go.
I should have threw you in the mix too, Bentley. You should have picked your team.
Right.
No.
But that's okay. We'll get ready for it. We'll come back to it later on.
I give you one, Mike. I give you one, Mike. Your guy you've been riding bikes with. They say he could score back in the day at West Springfield, and he went to Coppin State.
Houston?
Dave Houston. Dave Houston put it in the hole. They used to say he could put it in the hole.
I wasn't here. Like I'm saying, I wasn't here. I wasn't here.
Mike's like, I'm vouching nobody hasn't seen.
I wasn't here. Freshman, I know can't none of them put the ball in the hole like I did. So it's kind of hard.
He needs passes on his team.
Yeah.
I need all.
Yeah, I just need rebounders and somebody that their pass button work. Mine's just broke.
Go ahead, but
I guess my question is, how would you guys feel as head coaches if the VHSL put in a 64-team format as far as like the tournament for high schools? Would you guys be okay with that, or are you satisfied with the way they're doing it now?
Instead of having like Kevin, you did, you had to play Madison twice, then you had to play him in the regional. Mike, you were Lake Braddock 4 or 5 times.
Five times, 6 times.
Yeah.
Man. Like if Kevin and them wanted to beat them, I had to play them for like the 6th time again. So yeah, I don't mind it because I always believe I was fortunate enough to play in the NCAA tournament 4 years when I was in college. The best team is always going to win. The upsets happen, but for the most part, if you're good, you're good. It doesn't really matter if you're playing who you're playing because the best team and with a little luck sometimes is going to show up and win.
Yeah, because there's always that Cinderella story, my man.
Yeah, that happens, but
like you said, I think somebody said they got coaches filming scrimmages. They got guys going to your AAU games taking tape of this guy who's playing AAU, things like that. So I mean,
I tell you, 2 years ago, we had a scrimmage against Annandale. I kid you not, there was about 6 coaches in the stands, head coaches, not assistants, head coaches. And then you look on the side and you see some assistant coaches with their cell phone videotape, and I'm like, are you serious? So I just snatched everybody, all my top 8, 9 off the team, off the bench, off the court, and said, y'all sit here, they're gonna have to record, some guys that they won't get a chance to look at this year. But they didn't help my guys out none by, I can see just coming to the game as a spectator, but to see everybody up there taking notes and having cell phones out recording games at a scrimmage, I was like, this is too much.
I would like to see the 64 team format, honestly, because being 6A, people we're the highest enrollment in the state, but there's some top 4A, 3A teams that can give some of us a run for our money.
Absolutely.
I mean, so I would love to see that, honestly. Get the best 64 teams, let them play.
I agree. Hopefully
But that'll never happen.
If it's
Right.
not 64 teams, maybe 32 teams, something.
Right.
We could do that and just go to a tournament format. It'd be real nice, man. Be real nice. So.
I mean, you're the GOAT, so I mean, I'm just saying, like, if anybody has the power to do it, I'm pretty sure you can.
I mean, let me make a phone call to Brian Metris. I ain't the GOAT. That's the GOAT. Him and Bobby Dobson, they've been around forever, the longest. They the ones got to make those phone calls. I'm just sitting back waiting.
Well, you've been in it about 25 years. You just turned 55 today, so you've been around a long time.
You're getting older.
Yeah.
Good thing my daughter does all the editing. We'll edit all this shit out.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of gray hair on that hair. Right?
You ain't lying about that, man.
Between you and Buck, y'all got plenty of experience.
Okay, so it's time for me to bring up my subject.
And that's today's show.
I'll see y'all later. I don't hear you.
Don't take them headphones out.
Yeah.
All in honesty, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys, man. This is real talk, yeah, man. I appreciate hearing it from 2 state champions, co-state champions.
Well, 3, because you guys won the coin toss.
I gotta play that video.
Man, I usually don't do videos, man, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do this quick video and get this co-state championship. I've never heard of it in my life, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it solved real quick for you. Okay, it's real simple. We're gonna go to heads, South County, tails, Centreville. Here we go. It ended up heads, South County champions. Man, I can't do that. Hey, Kev, I gotta give you another chance, baby. 2 out of 3. Ended up tails. Man, 1-1. Last one, baby. 2 out of 3. This is who the state champion is. Wakefield, baby!
Yeah.
I gotta find that video.
Exactly.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice.
I really do appreciate you guys, man. You are 2 of the realest coaches in the region, and feel like we can talk to you guys about anything, anywhere, and the friendship is real, fellas, and I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Except for one thing. I'm just saying.
What?
What did you say?
I said, what's the one thing, Michael?
That's it.
Let me give my end of speech. I'm happy you guys actually came on to the show, man, and was able to discuss some of this. I got a bunch of text messages over here. I wasn't going to read them to you. They thought you guys were going to be fussing and fighting about who was going to win and all that good stuff. And I tried to explain these are 2 good guys. And I think with these shows Buck and I have been doing, we've been trying to show people that Northern Virginia has a hotbed of good players, but also some great coaches. And you 2 are definitely great examples of what we're trying to do, man, as far as the programs and what you guys have been able to do. It's always tough to coach against you guys and to prepare for you guys. And we respect you guys to the utmost. Of Kevin, when you first started out coaching, when we first started out coaching at Wakefield, you've been in the game for a long time. Finally got an opportunity to run your own program. And we've been in all of the things you've been doing with your program, man, and we continue to watch you. Of course, Mike has sat on our bench for 3 years as an assistant coach and got an opportunity. We knew it wasn't going to be long before he got a job somewhere. And we're just thankful that our friendships will continue. At the end of the day, again, when that ball goes up, we all want to beat each other. But the friendships that we have and the bonds that we have are priceless. And so just thank you guys for coming on today and just clearing the air and just talking about your programs and then getting some people to know who you guys were. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, fellas. Appreciate it.
Hey, Kevin, between me
Yes,
and
sir.
you, I think you would have won, man. Hey, you had that long kid, man. Hey, man, who could do it all. And you had the power strong. Get out of here. I don't think they was ready, man. I don't think they was ready.
No. No. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Hey Mike, you had Spade though, Charlie.
Right.
And you had Will.
Oh God.
I just wanted to be in there. I was calling JoJo and I said, JoJo, I know you only get 5 tickets. Hold on, okay. I said, I know you only get 5 tickets, man. I need one. I gotta be in there to watch this game, man. You know,
He already promised like 10 people tickets.
You already know. That's JoJo.
Hey, your daughter edits this, Tony?
Not yet. I mean, we good. Not yet. She will.
I was just hoping Kevin got kicked out the game and JoJo had to take over.
We're gonna keep that part in.
That's what.
We'll keep that in. My man JoJo.
This is the swag beat.
I would love to have been a fly on that wall, man, watching the game, man. God.
Would have been great. Would have been great. Would have been great.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, I appreciate y'all time,
Thank
man.
you.